when did you decide to go down this avenue of film? Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, so I grew up a competitive gymnast, and I really feel like I learned the power of my mind in a negative way first, because I was so stressed out and unhappy and honestly terrified as a little kid from the ages of like 6 to 13 as a competitive gymnast. I got to a place where I was throwing up once a week, every Tuesday before bars with our coach named Mike Payne, who just like scared the crap out of me. They, looking back on it, our coaches were kind of like borderline abusive. But at the time, I just don't think people knew about, like.
It was a little different.
Yeah, it was a different time. Yeah. I would just remember being in the bathroom like every Tuesday before bars. I was just so scared of getting hurt or getting yelled at or just all the things. And I learned that I could consciously or subconsciously make myself sick as a way out of the stress of life. And if I was sick, then I didn't have to go to gymnastics. Like, that's a crazy thing to think about, especially being like 11, 12, 13 years old.
And you have no idea what you're doing. You're just doing it.
Doing it.
It's a defense mechanism.
And it wasn't until like I finally shattered my hand. So I have 6 pins in my hand. And I shattered it at I was going to win this whole gymnastics competition. Yeah. And it was a time when, the whole auditorium could hear like the crack in my hand. And my coach was like, get back up on the beam. Your team needs you. Finish your routine.
Everyone knew you were.
And I was just like,
oh my gosh.
Try. And I remember trying to do a cartwheel on the floor, and I just like fell on my head because I just like, my bones were gone. I realized in that moment that on the plane back, like with like a cast on my hand, I was like, happy about it. I was relieved because I was like, this means I don't have to like train. Yeah. Like I could just be there and I don't have to quit. Like I don't have to do the thing that I'm terrified to do. Because that's what I really wanted. I really wanted to be out, but I just didn't know how. Like I was so scared of what, like, because it was my life. It was my whole identity. It was who I thought I was, all I thought I was. And I thought I was going to be an Olympic gymnast. And finally got up the courage to quit, and my mom did not take it well. My friends didn't take it well. My coaches didn't take it well. And I just felt like as a 14-year-old girl, like I just lost everything. Yeah. Like especially at that age, those things feel like so big. And so, I just cried in my room for a long time by myself because, a lot of the people that I loved, like my mom and my friends and my coach, like didn't want to talk to me. Yeah. Like, again, when you think that's all your world is and then it just is gone, it's really hard to keep living. Yeah. And I remember being like, I don't know if I wanted to be here anymore. Yeah. And then I saw this movie, Center Stage, and it was the first dance film I had ever seen. And I just remember sitting in the theater being like, just like lit up with, oh my gosh, that's what I want to do. I want to act, I want to dance, I want to inspire people the way that this movie inspired me. And I sat in the theater and I just like cried and prayed, and I started visualizing myself doing it because I learned the power of visualization as a gymnast. Cool. And everyone had left that theater, and I just sat in a dark theater by myself, like, again, just crying, praying, visualizing. And then finally, like, family members had to like pull me out of this dark theater by myself because I didn't want to leave. Yeah. It was like the first place. I want
to go back to life.
Yeah.
Real life.
I just want to be in this theater forever and never leave this amazing feeling that I feel. And I was just so transformed in that, hour and a half film. And the story of that film was how this girl, really wanted to be this big dancer, and everyone told her she was never going to be good enough. She didn't have the right body type. Like, like you're crazy for thinking you could ever be something. And it was her hero's journey of actually making that possible and making it possible in a way that was like bigger and better than she ever thought was possible. And I was just so inspired by that. And then I went home, and right around that same time, I came across this book in my parents' office. And I don't even know how they had this book. They weren't into this kind of stuff, but it was called As a Man Thinketh. Mm-hmm. And I was like a 14-year-old kid, and I just remember being obsessed with it. I was like, how come nobody taught me this stuff when I was like 5 years old? Because it would have been so helpful for me to know.
At 5.
Yeah, that like, well, especially as a gymnast, like, and the things that I went through and it made me realize, I was like, oh my gosh, like if I can create sickness and injury in my body because of like deep desire and thoughts over and over and over again, what could I create on the opposite side? Like if I could use that same power to create this dream come true. And so, and since that time, I just was like the little girl, teenage girl going to all these like personal development conferences and listening to Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay and all these like, all these people about mindset and law of attraction and manifestation. And my friends all make fun of me because they're like, come party with us. And I'm like, no, I got to go to all these classes.
Yeah, that's really cool that you were doing that.
Became obsessed with acting and dancing. Like in gymnastics, in this identity that I thought that I had to stay stuck in, I was miserable and unhappy and unhealthy. When I found this other identity of acting and dancing, I was like so happy all the time. Like even if I got sick, you couldn't get me to not go. Like I would be there no matter what.
Cool.
And I even got like the Rat Award at my studio because I would just never leave. And I also learned the power of whenever I felt discouraged, because a lot of my coaches told me that like I thought I was really good. They did not think I was very good.
Got it.
And so I had to work really hard to be good. But I didn't care. Like I was just like, I kept watching Center Stage, and I made vision boards of Center Stage. Every day I'd write down like, I'm going to be in a movie like Center Stage one day. And I ended up, crazy journey happened of a bunch of things that I thought were like the hardest, worst things that ever happened to me, but put me on the track to basically like move to LA when I was 18, even though I didn't know anybody. I don't know what I was doing. My dad was not happy with me because it was not the path he wanted me to take. And it was really hard and very scary to do that. And I ended up booking a scholarship program in Los Angeles when I was 18. Again, auditioned with like thousands of kids around the world. They picked like 20. I got to get in every day for a year. It was acting, dancing, singing, training. I couldn't audition. I couldn't have an agent even if I wanted to, because you couldn't miss training, basically. Hardest thing I've ever done, one of the best things I've ever done. And right around the time we had our big like end of the year scholarship show, I got signed with a bunch of dance agents, but I was like, guys, I want to act. Like I want to dance, but like I'm actress first who can dance and not the other way around. And all the acting agents were like, well, show us your reel. Like, what have you done? And I was like, well, I haven't done anything because I've been in this program and I couldn't work. And so, and then I just got no after no after no after no. And I started getting super discouraged, and I'm really grateful that I learned this. I believe there's a really big power in all different forms of art forms and expression to help people go from feeling really discouraged and disempowered to very empowered. And what I learned is I would just go, when I felt that feeling of just feeling just really bad about myself and starting to believe all those limiting beliefs that people told me, I would just go in a dark room and just dance my face off and like sing at the top of my lungs to these songs that empowered me. And I just did it to just feel better. And every time I did, I would leave the room just feeling like okay, like I can handle life.
So cool.
And then I walked out of this dance room that I've been at the studio for the past year, and I saw this casting call on the wall for Center Stage 2, like the lead girl role. And I was like, that's my movie. Like,
you're
that
like thinking of all the times you wrote this down.
Movie.
You're like, this is happening.
And all the times that I had been watching that film to keep inspiring me, because moving to LA when I was 18, not knowing anyone and not knowing what I was doing was very, very hard. And watching that movie over and over again just reminded me of that time in that theater when I just like, I'm going to do that. So when I saw that sign on the wall, right after I had all these acting agents tell me like, you're not ready, you're not good enough, I almost didn't go. Like I wanted to go so bad. And then it was just like this part of me, I was hearing all their voices, and I somehow talked myself out of going. I went home, wasn't going to go. And then I was just like in the bathroom sink washing my hands, and like had that really like powerful moment that one can have in the mirror with yourself. And I swear I like felt this feeling that was like, you have to go. And that feeling like pulled me out of the room into that audition, and I crushed it. Like I crushed it, and I was so alive doing it. And then I ended up having to go in 6 different times for that role.
That was
like
your first audition?
Of my first audition.
Wow.
I mean, I had done different like acting classes and those kinds of just like, pretend auditions, but like this was, the first casting was like when I found actually the first audition was a dance audition. So I could do like hip hop and jazz funk, which was like my thing. I was like, oh, I'm going to dominate. Like I knew. And then after that, the producer and director asked me that were like scouting that audition, asked me to go to Sony Pictures to read for the role. And I had never been to a sound studio before, like a huge like Sony Pictures film studio, and like driving up and having to give your ID and like walking through this huge place feeling so small and really not knowing what I was doing, honestly. I was just like showing up and doing it because I loved it. And And it was like a 3-month process. Again, 6 different times, all different kinds of auditions where both acting and then point shoes, ballet, breakdancing, hip hop, and partner dancing. And I feel like I didn't sleep or eat for like those 3 months or even more than that. And then one day I after the 6th time, and I was leaving Sony Studios, I was driving home, and an agent that had turned me down several months ago was like, Rachel, Sony Pictures wants to book you as the lead role in Center Stage 2. And
no way.
I almost got in a car accident. Like,
yeah, I'm sure.
I was driving over the 405, and I'll just never forget that moment when I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Just so freaking excited. And looking back on all the things that happened that, again, I thought were some of the hardest, worst things that ever happened to me, that ended up being the best because they gave me the exact skill set that I needed. It put me at the right place at the right time. It gave me all the right like mindsets and practices to have. And I also remember doing the film, and we filmed it in Vancouver for several months, and just living in like the highest on life ever. Like it was just, I mean, it was also so much pressure and stress because a lot of my like choreographers that I had looked up to for so long were now kind of a lot of like the background dancers.
Yeah.
And I heard people like talking shit about me on set, being like, who does this girl think she is? She hasn't done anything yet.
Oh, man.
And so I remember just feeling like the amount of pressure that I felt. And I honestly, like, I really think all the things I didn't know about filmmaking yet was a blessing. Because if I would have known what I know now, I don't know that I would be able to do it. Like, I was just so like, and that's what I think this gift of like coming with this beginner's mindset and never losing that joy and curiosity and play. And I remember even having so many times on set where like, I just wanted to help everyone. And I didn't know like, oh, you can't really help the lighting people, or you can't really. So everyone was like, gosh, this girl's just so nice and
great
just
to have around.
Help people. And like, I'm like, yeah, but isn't everybody? Like, I've just always thought like, well, yeah, but isn't that just what you do as a human? And I learned quickly that was not the case.
Ignorance is absolutely
bliss. Yeah. I also remember feeling like, oh, I'm going to do this movie and my life's going to be forever different. And I'm just going to go to movie to movie to movie to movie. And then having a really hard awakening where after I finished filming that and feeling like I just lived this complete like fantasy, going back to LA, nobody had known what I'd done. It wasn't going to come out for like another year. I just went back to like just auditioning with everyone else.
Yeah.
And being like, wait, I was just gonna lead in a movie though.
Yeah.
Like, and I just came from this place where like everyone was like, you feel so, they make you feel so special when you're like a lead in a film. And so going from that to like just nothing. And I mean, I really went through like depression after, for quite some time. And then from that, just really learning like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be like. When the movie did come out, like several other opportunities came, but it was just like the constant up and down of like getting so close to other big auditions and then not getting them, and then so close and then not getting them. And then after a while, the Bring It On opportunity came along. And again, I was like, wait, I obsessed over Bring It On as a kid. Mm-hmm. And like the fact that there was even an opportunity to audition for a role in a film that like I obsessed over so much when I was younger. Was just like, and again, I think sometimes as an actress and a filmmaker, you get a bunch of different auditions, or hopefully you do. And I think there's some that I've had, and most all of these I end up booking. But like I read it, and I'm like, that's mine. Mm-hmm. Like this is me. And then also I think what's been really helpful for me is to have this mantra, like what is meant for me can't pass me. And I'm always at the right place at the right time. Because I remember going through life beforehand, always feeling like, oh, but what if I miss this? And what if I'm not there? And what if, like, it was just all these like what ifs that would constantly stress me out. Yeah. And those kind of reframes or those kind of mantras have been so powerful for me because I did deal with like a lot of anxiety and a lot of like mental health struggles. Yeah. That I also know now are so linked to gut health issues and hormone issues that now that's why I'm so passionate about helping people understand that, this body is a vessel and that everything affects everything. Like what you eat affects the way you feel and how your hormones are, like even if like a little bit off, it could change the way how you feel, like how much confident you feel or how driven you feel. And that's why, I'm so grateful for Elevation and how we've met.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I love talking about all these different things in my journey, being super honest about like, yeah, I've had amazing highs and I'm so grateful for them. I've also had really, really bad lows and times when I really questioned if I wanted to be here anymore, and really finding things that all the reframes and all the people, especially like how to create healthy, supportive relationships on my journey. Because the biggest thing I learned was jobs come and go, money comes and goes.
Yeah.
But if you have those like healthy, supportive friendships and people in your life, that's what makes me feel like I can get through anything.